Going back to what's at hand. These are the original fuel lines for my 2000 Suburban piece of crap. And when I was removing these quick disconnects, you see the rust here?
Yeah.
Well, the rust bit in to the components that actually make up the little stack up of what's inside these nylon fuel lines that Doorman sells. They're $100. I really didn't want to spend $100, even though I destroyed the ends, but I figured out how to get them to work. Now, when I removed these, this rust, which I actually cleaned up, it was even worse, gripped these pieces and ripped them out, and that would necessitate people buying new ones. As you can see, look inside this one. Come here. This one, you see how you got that? I put a different O-ring in there, and underneath that O-ring, first thing you got is this rubber thing. That's the top. Then underneath that, you got an O-ring. And underneath that, you got this nylon spacer. And underneath that, you got another O-ring. This is for the 5/16 line, this return line. But the 3/8 line is exactly the same. You can see the little brown O-ring underneath the nylon spacer, underneath the green O-ring. You see that in there?
Yeah.
I don't know if my YouTube viewers will be able to see, but you see that, right? And then there's a bunch of, I was using grease, fluid film, because that stuff will dissolve when I flush out the system. But here's the thing now. Here's where I need you to hold this. Dude, you're always hungry, man. You gotta stop eating. Now, so here's what I thought I could do, and it was screwing me up. By the way, when you flare these quick connect fittings, I don't care how good of a tool you've got, but you see this little dull spot that isn't polished up by the sandpaper? That's a little dent. I'm a little bit worried that that's actually going to cause a problem. It might actually introduce a fuel leak, but I'll know why it's leaking. It's not going to probably be the O-rings, which I tore up the original ones. Check out these. This was the original. That was the original 5/16. This is the original 3/8, and you could see when I was inserting without polishing, you can see the cut in there, just right there. So I had to redo the O-rings, and I used these chemical resistant ones that I got at Harbor Freight a long time ago. I'm sure the nitrile ones would work as well. But anyway, so when you polish these up, you see these dull spots. But originally what I was doing underneath the car, and I thought I could get it in. See, with nothing in there, it goes in. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could get that to go. You put this little clip on, because this is the actual clip that holds. I'm going to use this old one just in case something goes wrong. This little dog ear seats behind the flare that you made, that flare. You could see it with this broken one, and it doesn't go forward because of that. You'd have to stretch it out and up and over. And what I wanted to do was I was thinking I could take this and I could just stack this stuff up on a connector and just kind of smash it in there. Smash it into the connector, but it just no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. By the way, doing this in warm weather is better than cold weather because these plastic connectors become brittle and they will snap on you. So that's why we're doing this in the kitchen. But look what happens when I push this in, and this has got a seat behind there. No matter what, I just can't get it to go in. You know, it'll go in. I could smash it in, but I'll just destroy stuff. So what I found out was you can't do this. You can't do this because these little right here, that big first rubber one, it's got grooves in it. And these grooves have to set inside there and have to be below. Oh, and if you even if you put these in one at a time and you stack this up and nicely align it. I should probably be using green ones just so I could see what's going on. Crap. Hold on. Oh, gosh.
Oh, so I'm the one who sorted all those.
Yes, thank you. See?
All those O-rings.
Yep. One looks a little bit too big. Now we're going to use these because this next one down I think is going to be too small. Actually, this one looks dead on. Let's forget that one. I think we're going to use these guys. So let's use the green ones.
Would it have any function difference?
Yeah, well, it's got to be just big enough to seal. So it's going all the way into there. Oh, and another thing. I learned that plastic like this, you know, pens and stuff, that's what you want to do to build the stack up. Because you will cut them with the whatever, with anything metal. So for this stack up, I actually pressed it with this giant Sharpie, and it was perfect. Just pressed it right in. You got to find a cap or something that just nicely presses in. All right, so that's the first thing. I'm just giving us a thumbs up. That's the first one. Then we go nylon.
Go to my channel, Mark Bushecker Jr., where I fixed a JK Jeep Wrangler.
Yep. And then we push this guy down. That's our nylon spacer. I'm not doing too much force. But that one, see, it snapped in. So there was something. It was catching on some kind of ridge. So it snapped in. I don't know if these guys could see what's in there. There we go. So we got the first two. Now let's get another O-ring.
I put on the flash so they can see.
Okay. Great. And then now we do this one. See, so now I got two donuts. Wow, those are a little bit tight. We'll see how it goes in. I'm going to take this green one off. And now here's the trick. So we couldn't get that in before. These guys you got to remove by actually lifting them up over the little lip. There we go. And then I'll slide forward. That's why I wanted to use the broken one. But here's the thing. If you put this last one in. Oh, and one more thing that you got to pay attention to. This last one, there is a chamfer on the edge that goes to the front. You can see this chamfer. On the other side, it's square. You see how square it is?
Yes.
It's just right angle.
Did you get a look at the other side?
Where this angle, this is chamfered, so it just guides in the actual metal tube. So make sure the guide in, the chamfered end is up and not the right angle end. And then another thing you'll notice is it's thinner in outer diameter here than it is here. There's like a little lip even on the edge that goes out. So I see the chamfer. So I line that up. Now this worked on the other one. Let's hopefully it works on this one. Although this cap is a little bit small. This is what he calls a little bit small, but then it went a little, but I don't go all the way because I want to go. Oh, there we go. It actually pops into place, but you can look at it from the side. It's still sticking up on one end. You could see how that is still sticking up on one end. So we got to go a little bit more. Oh, there we go, and it's snapped in. Now it's snapped in. Now look at it from the side. It's completely gone. It's probably a millimeter below the surface. You could see it here, because this is the outside plug, and this is the top of my rubber. MJ is doing the camera work here, so it's not my fault, guys. He's only 11.
Hey, I'm 12 now.
Okay, all right, congratulations, awesome. All right, so now here's the beauty. You look down. Looks like shit. I should get some more fluid film. Shit. Maybe I'll take some from here because I saw a bunch of it in here.
I'm gonna get a good look at this.
All right. I got some fluid film on my screwdriver. I should be doing fluid film on this thing. So now we put this guy back together. This is our little test. Ugh, this is probably not the right one I want to use. But these aren't polished up, so I don't know if I should be using these. But that one's going to be easier to extract, so let's try. So you got this. By the way, polish these up really well.
Polish them.
Polish them with sandpaper. There we go. And boom. Click. You heard the click? And there it is. So now it works. Saved myself $100 and waiting for additional parts. Let's see if it rips out when I pull it out. Nope, it stayed in position. So that's good. Probably gonna replace this guy. But that's the whole trick. You gotta reassemble them in here. And they were destroyed by taking them out, and this rust held on to all the components and ripped them out. It gutted it.
Look at this rust compared to this line.
Yeah, so it's significantly different. All right, so that's our little final YouTube video on how to get this going. Now you should get dressed so you can record underneath the car how I position the tank.